Beezle Boys, Beezle Boys.
You guys kick ass, and I really do like the content. And hey, you know what? For all the listeners out there, you guys have got to tune in to my friends.
So this is a special shout out to Beezle Boys. Let's go ahead and have some fun. We'll take my glasses off first.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to another episode of Beezle Boys. We're excited to have two wonderful ladies with us today from the Drunk Discussions podcast. Join us this episode as we engage with two family-oriented, drunk moms and explore their dark sense of humor through a range of topics, including serial killers, married mom life, sexuality, and much more. So, Billy, why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
Thanks, Chase. I really like what these girls are doing for podcasting. I think when we started this thing about a year ago on Instagram, they were one of the first that we started following. And I just thought that their material and their content was very funny. It was informative. It was everything that I think Beezle Boys is all about. And I just thought these girls are fun, exciting, intriguing. And we started following each other. And here we are today getting to do a special guest crossover. So thank you so much for being our guest. And we look so much forward to this episode, sharing your insight. So thanks, ladies. Cheers, everybody here on this episode.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you.
So to get things rolling, I talked to one of you. I think it's what's the
Ilka.
Yes, on the right, the blonde-haired girl, or the brunette, but not the.
I'm the
We
short
talked
one.
about-
I'm the blonde one. She's the tall one. She's the brunette.
There we go. You guys bridge any gap in between. But
Yeah.
I want to start with moms as a topic for a variety of reasons. First of all, one of my dearest friends actually yesterday became a father, and his wife became a mother, and they brought a little boy into the world. And I called them last night, left a nice voicemail, and I'm so glad that they didn't answer because I know they're in the hospital, lots going on. I sent them a text. And it's a very special thing to become a parent. And I'm not even a parent, so I feel like a hypocrite by saying this. But since both of you are moms or married into stepmom, biological mom, whatever it is, you both play a role as being a mom. And talk about what that entails and how it changes your life and enhances it for the better.
Oh my god.
Enhances
Enhances it for sure.
Makes it interesting,
It
that's for
definitely
sure.
makes it interesting. So I'm a mom by giving birth, and my life has changed so much. I actually have some little bit of patience, which I have never had before. I don't have full patience whatsoever, but
Puerto Rican in her.
it's the Puerto Rican in me. It's the Latina. I am very dramatic, and so is my child. So I have my hands full constantly, for sure, for being a mother. And I give props to anybody who does this by themselves, whether it's a single mom or a single dad, or if you're adopted, or, oh my goodness, props, because it is hard enough doing this with an entire family behind you being able to watch your child. It is crazy hard.
So you have a beautiful baby girl, is that correct?
Yes, I do. She's 18 months of pure attitude.
A year and a half. That's awesome. That's fantastic. What about your partner in crime over here, your co-host? Is she?
So I am a stepmom. Not an evil stepmom. I promise I'm good. But yeah, so
Take your
my
word.
fiance has a boy and a girl. And the boy's a little angel. Like, he's like the sweetest thing to ever be created. And this little girl is like a little demon. Like, I love her so much, but she is like the evil little thing, like running around. She controls everything. She's like on top of shit. Like, she's crazy, but it
Spawn
might
of
come from the
Satan.
moms, but I don't know. It might be coming from the moms. I mean,
That's kick-ass.
so it's interesting. It's a big change, especially when they're not yours. So you have to love them like they're yours, but you know they're not, and you have to remember that. So there's boundaries. You know, there's all those boundaries you got to kind of be careful with and stuff. So it's very interesting.
And you have two, right? One boy, one girl. Is that what we just understood correctly?
Yeah. A
And
little boy. And
how old did you say they were?
one's 11 and one's 6.
That's
the girl
pretty
is
awesome.
the little one.
Yeah.
And the boy's the older one. I respect that a lot because, like, I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to say like as a male, but like as a single man that doesn't have any children, and when you think about relationships and a family and a spouse and kids, my grandmother always told me it changes your life, and you should never expect your life to be the same, and that's a good. So I find it very intriguing how these bonds are formed, and like you said, some of it's biological with your friend, and some of it, like you stepped into it, and I respect them both so much because it's so intriguing on how everything works out. And then, like, for example, you that had your baby biologically, your body went through hormones and changes, and like it's such a physical, mental, emotional chemistry that it's incomprehensible because unless you've been there,
Exactly.
nobody really understands what you went through.
Exactly. It's definitely, it's chemical. It's crazy to say that, but it is definitely a chemical bond that you really have no choice but to have. So I can't even imagine what it's like for Jackie to. I've never been in that situation to have a stepchild, like to have to love someone like they're mine, and even though they're not mine, So I feel like it's harder for her
It's interesting.
because she doesn't have that chemical bond, She has to actually kind of make that emotional bond with already kind of grown up kids, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're already like conscious. They know what's going on. They're, on
They
top
can
of
talk
things.
back.
Yeah, they can sass back, and I like walked into the sass.
I think it's awesome, and like she just said, it's so different even from your perspective because these aren't your biological children, but I assume you must have an awesome relationship with the person you're with because to be a stepmom to anybody is a huge change, let alone two children, and it sounds like you have two children that are healthy and awesome, and your life has been enhanced for the better. And I have to take my hat off to that because it's one thing biologically, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but it takes a lot for a person to say, you know what, these aren't mine, but I'm going to love them like they're mine. I'm going to raise them. I'm going to respect them. And I'm also, like you said earlier, trying not to cross boundaries, hoping that that you guys both form an awesome family unit, the two of you girls. So thanks for sharing your info on what it's like being a mom.
Yeah,
Try.
of course. Spread
Yeah.
the words of moms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The drunken moms.
It's
here.
hard being a mom. That's why we get drunk. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Mom,
that's why we drink a lot.
Nate, do you have anything you'd like to add to the mom section?
I mean, I was just kind of thinking while you guys were talking about the whole like nature versus nurture argument, and just not even really the argument of it, but how there's both sides of it, and you were talking about the biological side of that being kind of like the nature, and then the nurture side is still important to developing a child and having a connection with them. And it's just kind of, it's interesting because it's on a spectrum. It's not one or the other.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of where my head's going.
Heck yeah. I think that's a great topic, and I think it's universal and very relevant for people all over the world because it's just a part of humanity. So your turn, ladies. What topic would you like to bring up next?
So we, of course, to our nature, we want to talk about our own kind of drunk stories.
Nice.
Yes.
Our personal drunk stories?
We have our personal drunk stories, but we have other people's drunk stories. We like telling stories. This is our thing. So we usually Google the shit out of things and find
some
dumbass
Wikipedia.
people. Yes, Wikipedia. We find some dumbass people that have done some things.
I have a saying that goes, dumbass people do dumbass shit.
I mean, that is very true.
I agree.
It is very, very
I
true.
Damn theory.
So we Googled a couple stories, and we want to talk about some other people's drunk situations, as we like to say. And then we could probably talk about our own drunk situations, which we've had.
Yeah.
We've had plenty. Everyone has their own story, I'm sure. Do you
unfortunately.
Do you want to go first? Do you want to tell some people's stories?
Okay, so I found an interesting one. Have you guys ever heard of the defense? It's the involuntary intoxication defense. So it's something that they're actually using out there. And
Is it the theory that if you're intoxicated, you can't think in the right mind? So from a
Right.
practical standpoint, you can't be held accountable, because if you're intoxicated and you can't make rational decisions, how can you be held accountable for a rational decision that you made when you were intoxicated?
Yes.
Exactly.
Billy, you've used that argument before, haven't you?
I think
Clearly,
it's a
he is
valid
well
argument. It's
versed.
a perfect argument, right?
You explained it like a lawyer, dude.
I'm just saying, if you're 2 times the legal limit and you hit a minivan and kill a family of 5, it's horrible. You shouldn't be
Right.
held accountable because you didn't know what the fuck you were doing. It wasn't intentional. I'm kidding.
Right.
That's fucked up. But it's a valid argument from a legal perspective.
I mean, you should be held accountable, but really you didn't know what
Damn,
you're
but
doing
you-
in the end.
You're right. So it's a little bit of both. So what did
Little
this
bit.
person not mean to do while drunk?
So this person, he is actually a Virginia lawyer, and he
Oh.
was accused of invading a couple's home by using a taser and then holding them hostage for 3 hours and then slashing one of the victim's throats and repeatedly stabbing the other victim. And they're planning on using the involuntary intoxication defense in their trial, which hasn't started
Jesus.
yet. Yeah. So they're planning on using that. Basically, like the wife, it was a couple. The wife stayed in the car while the husband went inside
What?
to do a few things. Yeah. It was a couple.
She's guilty. She stayed in the car. She drove to Walgreens and then watched it happen behind the wheel.
Yeah, she was basically like the driver of this whole thing. She
The
just
getaway
stayed there.
driver.
Yeah, that's what they like labeled her as, like the getaway driver. And so she had gotten fired from an agency. Where did she get fired from? She got fired from Bean Kenny, and it's like what is it? It's like a law firm also. So it's a law firm. She got fired from it, and that was the couple that they attacked, was her manager and his wife.
Wow.
Yeah, so they went in and attacked her. They the husband tied him up, held them hostage for 3 hours. He eventually attacked both of them. They both survived. So that's
Wow. And you
Yeah.
said that they slit their throat
he slit the husband's throat and stabbed the wife multiple
and they
times.
both survived.
Damn.
They both
Those are
survived.
scars. Those
What
are-
Right.
a will to fucking live.
I know, right? And
Yeah.
police later found traces of gasoline spilled in their home and in water bottles. So they were planning on burning the place down too.
All I can say is it sounds like my ex-wife Tammy, and I fucking hate that bitch. But these people took it to the next level.
Yeah, definitely
you,
to the next
Sammy.
level. So on their escape route, when they were escaping from the crime
On an
scene,
escape route, it just never
Yeah.
ends. It keeps going. I
when
feel
they
like
got,
this has to be first degree premeditated. I don't think it has anything to do with being intoxicated.
I know.
definitely premeditated, that's for
Definitely.
sure.
They knew what they were fucking doing.
Well, I don't know. This guy was drunk though, so
But
I
he
don't know.
planned it beforehand. He had it in his brain. He knew. He knew.
So when they pulled him over, the husband was found in only a diaper. Just to top
What?
it off.
I just imagine Billy in only a diaper.
Pretty well there, right?
I mean, right now, for all we know, you're only in a diaper. So
Yeah.
now we know you're in shorts, but
No,
before
he's
that,
Underwear.
I would have never known.
in a
Boxer
diaper.
briefs, get it right.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Sponsored by Hanes, right? And it's
Sponsored by
crazy.
Hanes.
I love stories like that because it's so crazy. It makes crazy not crazy, and it makes people that seem sane maybe insane. It's like, where do you draw the line? Like, there's so much description to that case. Like, I don't feel that they'll be able to get off. There has to be first degree or at least second degree.
It feels like there's no defense. So is that like the last resort? Is that they're
That is-
going for that?
Basically their last resort, because like at this point, like all the evidence is pointing towards them. They've been ID'd, all this stuff. So there's no way of getting out of it. So it's almost like a last defense. Like, okay, we're gonna go with the involuntary intoxication, see what happens. Let's hope it works.
They get
It's like
6 months
insanity
community
plea.
service.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
All
people have
charges
gotten
dropped.
off with that defense though. People
Yeah.
have gotten off with that defense, which is crazy.
Mhm.
Like this lady who she choked her 8-year-old daughter until she passed out and then tried to kill her 3-year-old son.
Sounds
And-
like my wife again.
Oh, like your ex-wife
Damn,
again?
Tammy.
That's good.
Jeez.
Fucking Tammy.
Damn it, fuck.
Well, see, when her last name was Lynn, and she was a stripper. So, like in my mind, I thought she had the porn star name Tammy Lynn. She was a stripper. She was fun and exciting, and I just told myself I could deal with it because it was satisfying. But what I couldn't come to terms with was the fucking fact that she was a crazy bitch, and I paid the ultimate price for it. It's like that song by Buck Cherry. That's exactly what it's like.
Yay. See, and all the girls back in high school were like, yeah, that's me. I'm a crazy bitch. And they're like all proud of it and stuff like that, when that song came out.
Yeah,
I know that
when you
they were.
start slitting people's throats and burning people's houses down.
Yeah, it happens.
That's where it goes from you're a crazy bitch to you're a psychotic bitch.
Right. Oh my God.
There is a difference.
Yes, we do talk a lot about like sociopaths and psychotic people, and they're a very interesting breed. Which, fun fact, narcissists are very close to sociopaths, like almost like the same thing. So
Yeah.
if you're called a narcissist, you're basically a sociopath.
And I have a question because I have / had a friend that I felt was a narcissist. Very self-absorbed. It was his way or the highway. Couldn't agree to disagree. Never took accountability. Never apologized. It was use you to get something, and as soon as you couldn't have it, it was fuck you. You're a piece of shit. Like, I don't want to say he's a narcissist, but I feel like if you Googled the term narcissist, he fits the category of what a narcissist is. What do you ladies think?
So, does he lack empathy? Do you think he lacks empathy? That's the big one.
Based upon the way he treated me, I would say he lacks empathy and sympathy along with interpersonal communication.
There's a solid chance then that he is a narcissist.
You're talking to the pro here.
Yes. So I do
He's a
I'm
pro.
I'm a counselor, so I do a lot of fun diagnosing. That just means I know the technical terms and how to diagnose people. That's all. But
how we became friends.
Yeah, that's how we became friends. So
She was your patient, and then you became friends when you started drinking outside of.
we were each other's patients.
Unofficially, we were each other's patients.
It's kind of fucking hot. I like it.
But yeah, no, like narcissists, if they lack empathy, that's the big sign, like that they're a narcissist.
And when you say they lack empathy, in your mind, what is empathy? The ability to relate to other people?
Understand how someone's feeling. So if they're feeling grief or something like that, you're able to understand how they're feeling. And
actually like know what that feeling is like, not necessarily just saying, oh yeah, I get it, but knowing the actual sensation of grief inside.
Just because you've never been through it, you can be like, I can imagine how horrible that would be. Like,
definitely, and that's the difference between empathy and sympathy. That one of them you've actually experienced, so you actually can relate to the other person, and the second one is you haven't, but you have an idea or at least preconceived notions that you try to interpret what it would be like if you were in that situation. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the idea. Yeah,
because I'm a sick fuck and I'm always right.
I mean, we can get you diagnosed if you need it.
I mean,
it would take a long ass time to diagnose Billy.
I'm so fucked
There's a
up
lot of shit going on in there. Say that again, Billy.
Perfect.
Huh?
Say that again.
I said I'm so fucked up. My shrink needs a shrink.
All right.
Secondary
I feel
trauma.
the same way. Cheers.
I mean, even
Cheers.
therapists see therapists. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to when you deal with that kind of negativity and sadness.
Yeah.
And my aunt's a psychologist, and she deals with battered women, and it makes me want to throw up all the stories you hear. And it's like I don't know how you're able to. You have to hang it up at the end of the day, and leave your office and go home and have your life and enjoy your family. Because if not, it will eat you alive. And some people can handle that, and some people can't. But
right.
It definitely is a very interesting occupation.
For sure.
It is interesting, that is for sure.
Next topic, Case, is that cool?
Yeah. I think we go ahead. What do you got, Billy?
I just want to lead on based on what we just talked about.
Okay.
Lynn said you girls are intrigued with serial killers. Is that a hoax, or am I correct?
We love them.
Serial
Listen.
killers are bae.
It's our thing.
Wow, they love them and they're their bae. So for all you sick fucks out there,
Big bucks. We're here.
killers, you have a chance.
Yes.
Hey, we did
Hit 'em
an
up.
episode about hot serial killers.
Yes.
So
Oh,
So who are your top 5 serial killers and why? And then explain to us what makes them hot. We'll go from there.
listen, my number
Okay.
1 is Richard Ramirez. He's real hot. So
Oh.
except he's got jacked up teeth. He's got real nasty teeth.
He's,
But he
he's
just
Latino,
doesn't
right?
come
He's
out
from
good.
what, LA in the 70s or 80s?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Night Stalker, is that what it was
Long
called?
curly.
The Night Stalker.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I got it right because you
Long
know
curly
what? I'm a
black
sick
hair.
fuck and I'm worse than all of them sons of bitches.
We like it. Okay. And I love the Casanova Killer.
Oh, wow.
Because he has Farrah Fawcett hair.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
just
I like the winged out hair.
He had like the
it's pretty.
poofy, pretty chiseled jaw, you know, like
Pretty boy.
super sexy. Exactly. I mean, I was not born in that time, but still,
Go on. I'm listening.
I would. I would have fell for that. Like, I would have been a victim. I for sure would have been a victim of the
Right?
Casanova
Oh
Killer,
my
for sure.
God.
So based on what you guys just told me, based on those two, and that's two, I ask you for the top 5. Like, and there's like the classics that everybody knows of that doesn't even have to know a serial killer, and then there's those that, like, as we've all researched, we've read about so many people that were like weren't famous, but they were famous. If you look at like what they did, it was groundbreaking. But I'll have to be that asshole.
groundbreaking. What the fuck?
They changed the way people killed each other. I'm just gonna say it. Ted Bundy, and everybody talks about Ted Bundy. I know he's on Netflix, and there's the confession tapes and everything. But what intrigues me about him, and I've studied him, and I've heard more about him than anybody else, and that's also not fair because media has made it mainstream, where everybody is obsessed with that. Versus the people you're talking about are just as intriguing in their own fucked up sick way. But Ted Bundy was an attractive man. He was very intelligent. He had an Ivy League college education. He was liked by many girls. He was a guy that could have ran for president and fucking had a chance to win. So how does a person with that level of intelligence and academia, as well as looks, that has most of every opportunity in the world that a lot of people don't have, go down that path? And that's like where I question, do people have free will? And a part of me really says no, because anybody with common sense, especially of his statue, would know what he did was wrong. But if you watch like the confession tapes and read about him, he talks about how this urge came over him out of nowhere and he just had to kill. You know, I don't know. And you're a did you say a psychologist or psychiatrist?
Technically, I'm a social worker, so I do
Okay.
therapy. And
So you
stuff.
do both.
Yeah,
So close.
I do a little of everything.
You know, but what do you think about that, ladies? Is it something, you know, and you read a lot of stuff that were, you know, some of these people were very, you know, battered and beaten, and they had horrible childhoods, and, you know, they started killing animals and shit from the time, you know, age 5 or 10. But it's a very
Right.
intriguing argument that is still relevant today.
It is. And it's hard to say that someone's going to be a serial killer just because they went through the whole, you know, either sexually battered or something like that as a child, or abused and
Like
abused
arson,
animals, arson, stuff
bedwetting.
like that. Bedwetting, definitely.
Bedwetting is a sign of a serial
Or-
killer.
What was it? The
Kind
bad
of.
wedding?
Bedwetting.
like peeing.
Oh, I thought you said you went to a bad wedding. I've been to several of those.
Like, Mom,
Maybe you're a serial killer. No, I'm kidding. No, but there's like those certain things that we always see within serial killers that it's hard to say that even if you've been through all that stuff that you are going to be a serial killer. You know, it just ends up being something that's very common within the serial killers that we've seen.
I'm not gonna lie, I pissed the fucking sheets the other night. I'm telling you, that is a shitload of piss over there.
How much did you
You
have
know
to
why?
drink?
I drank that blue juice. I haven't been drinking blue juice since I was 5 years old. You know why? Because I used to piss the sheets, and that's why I still shouldn't. It's something has to do with the chemistry of the way blue juice is made. Like,
Wait,
I don't know.
what's blue juice?
What is
I'm
blue
confused.
juice?
You
Yeah.
never had blue juice?
Is that the one with like that you get at the gas station that's like super tiny and has like a head of a character?
Mhm. Yeah.
Those
and I'm
little
thinking,
kid juices?
Like
You still
motherfucker.
drink those,
When I was a
Billy?
kid- Yeah, but my mom used to make homemade like fruit punch and blue juice, and we could only have blue juice if it was like the weekend and we didn't have to go anywhere. That way we didn't piss on anybody's
Oh
couch or their sheets. I was a kid, man. I spent the night with my buddy and I brought my younger brother over, and I'm not gonna lie, I pissed all over the fucking couch. And I woke up and I'm like,
Oh my
dude,
God.
this is a big trouble right now. I took my brother's body, who was unconscious because he was asleep, and I put him on top of that couch. And the next morning, I said that he pissed on the couch.
You framed your brother. That's so
That's
awful.
horrible, but
Oh my God.
awesome.
The blue juice.
The Blue Juice Chronicles.
Beware
juice
of
did
the
it to
blue
me.
juice.
I mean, I feel like with my relationship with my brother, I probably would have done the same thing. Like, that poor thing got a lot of blame and whoopings, so.
Still.
But to go back to where we're at, like you were saying, there's a lot of characteristics or similarities that are very highly analyzed and studied. Is that correct, based upon these individuals?
Like, a lot of these are very, very, very common, like, and head injuries. Like, those are things that are very common in all of serial killers. Like, they usually possess 2 to 3 of these characteristics.
So
So-
if I was cock slapped on the merry-go-round on the playground when I was in 3rd grade, do I have any issues I need to worry about?
So, do you possess did you, like, hurt any kittens or anything at the time?
No. But I woke up 9 days later in the ICU with a mild
Oh my God.
concussion.
Jesus.
So-
9 days later?
Brain
Well,
injury.
I guess it wasn't mild, it was severe.
Yeah. Dang. Are you okay? Do we
I
need to
hope
Who hurt
so.
you?
Who hurt you?
Who hurt you?
Need to get a little bit more of a backstory on that one. And that's
Yeah. It hurts like a motherfucker when you get hit in the head on the playground.
I believe it. I trust
All right,
you.
ladies,
Now.
you're up. Next topic.
Okay. I would like to talk about people's personal drunk stories because I have had so many of those drunk stories. So this is other people. This is not me. Not yet. But so
Or
I-
yet it's bound to come.
yes, it is bound to come. Oh yeah, I have plenty. We'll get there. So this is Ashley Lynn. She says, I was trapped in an elevator, used the emergency phone, freaking out till the door opened, and I was rescued. Couldn't figure out why my rescuer seemed so annoyed. Turns out, I wasn't trapped. In my drunken state, I forgot to press the button
For the elevator.
for the elevator. So you know, when the elevator doors close, it doesn't go anywhere until you press the button.
I've done that before.
I don't have
In the morning.
Or
Really.
was I sober?
Now, were you drunk or were you sober? That's the question.
It's probably high.
Can you guys imagine, like, being stuck in an elevator for 37 hours straight, and you're just like, I don't know,
Sweating.
like, I'd almost want to be by myself because I have room to go to the bathroom if I need to, and it would still suck. But, like, I don't know, like, I feel like that could be a movie where two strangers that both hate their lives, like somebody's trying to kill themselves, the other person wants to get divorced, and then get stuck in a elevator, and they both miss out, like, on a tragic but like key important role in their life. Like, somebody misses the birth of their child, the other person misses the funeral, and like they bond in this elevator. I don't know if that's kind of fucked up, but like, I don't know.
Sounds like the beginning of a rom-com. A really awful rom-com.
Really bad one.
Really, I thought it sounded like the intro to a porno, but
I mean, it could go
It
that way.
depends on
but
how you think, because it could be both.
we don't go
Yeah.
along the
True.
porno lines, but I guess if that's the way your mind works, then it goes
I
along the porno
like
lines.
the idea of a good
Whatever happens,
romantic
happens.
comedy because I'm a hopeless romantic.
I don't know if I believe that one so much.
Really? That's
I mean,
objectifying.
dated a stripper named Tammy, so I don't know.
That wasn't her real name. That's what she told me when I met her.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't cinnamon.
No, but her real name was Caitlin Combs, and I accept that.
No,
As long as
it's
she
not.
did, I mean, whatever.
Exactly.
So this is one other one of another super drunk person. So well, not me. Katarina was super drunk at a bar once and walked into the bathroom. When I turned, I bumped into somebody and said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." Took me 5 minutes to realize that the person I bumped into was my reflection in the mirror.
Holy shit.
And I feel that on so many levels.
Oh, I don't think I've ever gotten to that point.
Okay, maybe just me. I feel for you, Katarina. Yeah, so I definitely have that issue. When you go to a bar or a club and they have like the really big mirrors in the bathrooms, I don't know if guys' bathrooms have the same thing.
They do. I've pissed on them multiple times.
Yeah?
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, I've never
And
done that.
cross swords.
But-
I thought we were role playing Three Musketeers. I wanted the role of D'Artagnan.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel for this because I have definitely run into a wall or a mirror and said, "Oh my god, I'm sorry," and it was just me talking to myself or me talking to the wall because I was so shit-faced.
One thing that like I think is intriguing about that, like we've all been there, and a lot of places like men's and women's bathroom are very similar, and sometimes they're identical, and other places they're completely different. But one thing I've always noticed that has intrigued me is like women are like so comfortable with being in the bathroom with each other. Like you might not know each
God,
other, you
it's
just
so
talk.
weird.
Oh my god, let's exchange numbers and go have crab legs and shrimp and tequila next week. And like guys have like this homophobic view, like where you don't look at anybody in the eye, you don't talk.
Yeah.
To each other. I'm like, dude, I gotta take a piss.
Like,
I'm either
oh my
crossing
God.
the board with you or I'm pissing in the sink. I don't give a shit.
Okay, if someone gets like too close to you and the urinal right next to you, it's like awkward. Like, is he looking?
Well, there's like an unwritten rule if there's enough like urinals that you have to have one in between. And it
If
is weird
not,
because
that's when
sometimes
it gets
people
weird.
don't do it, and it is kind of weird sometimes. But then I don't know. It's
I
like it's a weird feeling.
It is.
It's a weird vibe.
Sitting on the toilet, like taking a piss, and the other girls
I've heard
taking
stories
selfies
like
in the mirror.
yeah, selfies, or you got your girls go in there, and somebody's throwing up, poor thing, and one of you just holds her hair back and you help her throw up, and then two girls start patting her on the back and rubbing her, and next
Exactly, and we don't even know this bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a little drunk girl community. Like it's a weird thing. Like
It is.
I probably pissed in the same stall as a girl I don't even know like multiple times. Like I'm like, oh, just come in here with me. It's cool. Like whatever. Like, we
I
don't
have
care.
a question. When you say the same stall, like there's only one toilet, am I correct within a stall?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
but we'll
two girls
continue our
will go in there at the
conversation on
same
one
time,
thing.
and then you have to make the decision who gets to piss first, while the other one makes
Yeah.
sure that nobody comes in, and then when it's over, they flush, and then you go, or you go at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
No, not
it's
at the same. How would you go at the same time?
That's what I'm asking.
To make
sorry.
it work.
So yes, there is one toilet, and unless you're really like off the rails shit-faced, there's definitely no point in like pissing in the sink because most likely one of them is going to be able to hold it for a little bit longer. But it all depends on you if you want to flush or not. I mean, save water. Piss in the
Save the
same bowl.
dolphins.
Just flush once. Like, I mean, if it's just number one, then why does it matter, right?
If it's
Valid
yellow,
point.
let it mellow.
I mean, yeah, you know.
I always like to fuck with people. Like I like to go up to some guy that I've not talked to, and I'll just start pissing, and I'll just be like, "Hey man, how's it going?" Or they'll say something, and we'll start talking about our kids. And I don't even have kids. You guys already know that. And I'll go into that. I'll go into it like how my 15-year-old daughter is starting to become boy crazy, and my 7-year-old boy is getting into soccer, and we'll just talk about all this shit for like 5 minutes, and I don't even know if we're still pissing, but we're holding our dicks and we're just going along with it. And, like they'll end the conversation, and I'll just like lean over and look at his cock and go, cock, pound him on the shoulder to walk the fuck out.
Good job.
Like he will never forget that. Like, no, and I'm not gay. I'm comfortable with my sexuality. I just think like no guy. That's like etiquette. No guy looks over the stall, nice cock, and then walks out. Like, are we in Berlin?
People in this world. How many people in this world are thinking of that moment when a random guy is like, "Yeah, nice cock"?
I don't
and
know
then just
why, but I
walks
really
away?
feel like my fiance would probably do that. Like,
It probably
think
gives
you
them
guys would be
confidence,
best friends.
dude.
Can we get him in on this call?
he'd probably like, no, I wouldn't. I'm like, bullshit.
Bullshit. You know you would.
You know it.
But that's cool. And the same thing, like girls, don't girls share tampons like in emergency situations? Have you ever been in a situation where some girls like, well, not share, but like you can't share. Like once it's like saying, can I borrow soap?
Right.
Well, you can use it, but once you use it, you
I
can't get it
always
back.
have extras. Right. We don't
Extras.
share.
We don't
As
like
in
whip
use
it
the
out and
same
just give the
fucking
other
thing.
one.
Like, here, let me just that one. I'm
Yeah,
good.
that did sound kind of
Have
bad.
that one.
I was like, oh my god.
Sharing
I
is
know. It's more
caring.
of a we. Oh God, not that much. We don't care that much. Yeah, but we always have. I mean, I don't even care if I'm in a public bathroom. I always have tampons with me or pads or something because I know how awkward it is to ask somebody if they have one, and that's a girl thing because
Yeah.
definitely men. I mean. You guys don't have to deal with that stuff, so to you guys, it's like taboo to talk about tampons and stuff. But for
Yeah,
us,
I
it's like,
We're like, whatever.
do you have a tampon? Like you have to whisper it, and I'm like, girl, here, I got all sizes.
Yeah, no, I have herpes and hemorrhoids, and I just share creams. That's about it, you know. Yes, yeah.
Cream. That's cool.
No, but I think it's awesome. It's kick ass. So, you guys want to take a quick 5-minute break, go to the bathroom, get a new drink, and then we come back and we do the second half of this episode.
Sure, why not?
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, guys. Beezle Boys here. We're still chilling with Drunk Discussions podcast. We've had some good conversations going on so far, so let's get back to it. Billy, what do you got?
First of all, I think this has been a kick-ass episode. These girls are really funny. They're doing a lot of insight, and it's awesome being able to share viewpoints, and especially from female and male. I think you guys are going to really like this episode one way or the other. But I got to thinking, I wrote down another topic just because I think that it's completely relevant, and I want your girls' opinion. So both being married and being mothers, I want to talk about the topic love. And when I say love, it's such a very simple word, but a very broad word. Some people say that they believe in fate, that it's predetermined, that your loved one or your spouse or significant other is already set in stone. And then you have other people that go, no, it's free will. Anybody can love anybody if they choose to. And then you have people that go, well, that's kind of half true. It's a combination of the two. But I think since both of you are in good relationships and are both mothers and parents, I'd like to hear your side of the story as far as what you think love is and how you try to measure it, or at least understand it enough to acknowledge it for what it's worth.
I absolutely do not think it's fate at all. At all. I do not think it is predetermined because there's no way that if it was fate that I would have gone through the relationships that I went through before where I thought I was in love and then to end up where I am now. I just don't, I don't know. I don't see that being possible.
God has a plan for you.
No,
he doesn't.
Yeah, Debbie said the same thing.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck it, let's see what happens. That's what happened with
Roll
me.
the fucking dice. I agree with that. I think it might be in a way, I feel like it's a little bit of both. You can love someone if you want to. Obviously, if you're in a relationship and you don't want to be there, then you're not going to love that person like you should. You would want to stay if you truly love them. But if it's not right, then, you leave, I would think.
You would hope.
Yeah, I would hope.
My hairdresser today literally told me that she dates men because she feels bad for them.
Oh, shit.
I know. I was like, damn, girl, you can't be doing that. That's horrible.
Damn, don't be
Better than
ousting
her
Billy's.
saying, hey, fuck men, because I feel bad for them.
That's
Be all Billy's exes.
Hey, I'm smart. I'm funny. I'm compassionate. I like you too. At least that's what I told my lawyer.
Oh my god. You're crazy.
Yeah, like I mean, it definitely is weird when you are married and you think about your past relationships and thinking, did I go through that for a reason? Did I experience these heartbreaks and these people purposely so that I can meet the person that I'm with right now, which is really hard to believe because I mean, unfortunately, divorce is a thing, and some people that get divorced end up finding like the love of their life later,
Yeah.
and then they're super freaking happy. So I can't say that it's like 100% fate to go through all that and then be with the person that you marry, because some people marry and marry again and marry again, and then they end up being
like my dad.
yes, like her dad, and end up being like super freaking happy later in life after going through all that shit. So I think it depends on who you like and what goes on in your life. I don't know. I'm crazy. I'm crazy. If you haven't noticed.
We all are. No, it's a very valid point because you address the issue at hand, and like you said, some people go through time and time again, and like I also we're all different. I kind of believe you get one life, and when it's over, it's over, and I know it's a very harsh mentality to have because it can be so cruel or unfair, and so many people will doubt that. But I feel like it's a combination of the both. I think certain people click well together and certain people don't. And a part of it's a combination of what you choose to make. And there's people that have been together for decades that might not be truly happy, but they're together. And that's also where you draw the line and say, you know what? If you're not truly happy, you got to do something else. You only get to do this one time. But at the same time, like how many, there comes a point where it's like it's also what you make, because nobody's perfect and we all make mistakes and we all fall short and create errors. But I feel like as a person and as a man, like part of being a confident individual is accepting that I fell short or I misinterpreted or I was in the wrong, but I still love you and I want to love you and I want to make this right and I want this to grow and hopefully blossom into something beautiful. And I feel like it's just a combination of so many different factors that sometimes it's very hard to measure. But it's a very interesting topic, but especially even more so once you get married or you have children, because then it's not even about it's your child's first, your spouse is second, and then your last, and it's trying to balance the three.
Yeah. And I mean, it's hard because I know a lot of people in life, once they have kids with somebody, that they want to stay for the kids, even though they're sacrificing their happiness and they want to give their child, whatever. But you also need to be happy. Your child's going to go off of your emotions, like what you give off, your aura. So if you're not happy, like that kid's going to understand that at some point and say, I know you're not happy, but why are you still here? They know everything. Children are freaking smart. It's creepy. But I mean, it's different because nowadays with however many issues we have with LGBT and all that stuff, like people are saying, oh, well, you can't love a kid as much if you adopt them because you're gay. Who the hell said that?
Yeah,
Who?
that's bullshit.
See, here's my argument.
That?
My argument on that, and I don't remember who it was, and I'm not trying to plagiarize or steal this person's thunder, but I did watch a comedian that one time brought up a great point. He or she said that if anybody should have the right to have kids, it should be gay or lesbians, because they have to plan it out. They have to get a lawyer involved. They have to have so many interviews to make any of it possible, where heterosexual couples are the ones that suffer because, you can go home from a bar and be drunk and fuck each other, but hate each other's guts, have nothing in common at all, but happen to have two healthy reproductive systems. And now you bring this child into this world and it's a shit show where that gay or lesbian couple had to go through lawyer after lawyer after
literally hell and back.
Exactly. So and I also believe you are what you are, and my argument on that is I have never woke up at 3:37 in the morning, tossing and turning, not being able to sleep, going, you know what? I think I just want to try this, or I'm not that. And I'm not saying people don't try different things. And nowadays with modern sexuality and porn and stuff, there's so many people that are, they try different things because we're taught to try it. But
Exactly.
I think that who you are is who you are and how you are, and you can it's you have men that are 40 or 50 years old that are gay that have been married for 20 years and have 3 kids, and they finally say this isn't me, or vice versa, and I feel sorry for them because that's not them, but at the same time I also feel for their family because they have 3 children that love them, and they have a wife that loves them, and they're distraught. It's such a complicated issue, if you know where I'm coming from.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, especially nowadays, it's been happening forever. You see these couples that are like in their 80s and 90s, and they're just now getting married to the love of their life, like the person that they've been with forever, because it's just not normal to love someone of the same sex. Like, I'm not okay with that. It makes me so mad.
Think about that, like when you're
Love who you
90,
love
like,
and be happy. Like, if you're happy, why does it matter?
yeah.
Sorry, I'm really, really passionate about that. Like,
Just
oh,
so angry.
Well,
So angry.
and my argument is, unless you live in another person's life and you're paying their bills and everything else, most people aren't. And even if you are, like, let people be who they are and find their own way in life. There's a famous quote: "Life's a journey, not a destination."
Yeah,
Am I right?
exactly. And why would you have to worry about somebody else's life? Like, worry about your own.
Well, I feel people that
clearly-
worry about other people's lives are like so insecure about their own that like they kind of have to nitpick at other people because they're dissatisfied with where they're at, or they're confused or unhappy, but they don't have the confidence to admit it, so they
Exactly.
do that as a self-defense mechanism.
Yeah, and I mean, I wish we had so much more of an open, like, nation that we could feel that confident to literally, if you want to try something, by all means, freaking try it. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. If you like it, then by all means, continue. Like, I feel like we're so judgy. Why are we so judgy with other people's love life? Like, it's not even our own, it's other people's.
It is weird because sometimes I think like that might be tied to like religion, but religion is kind of less and less popular as I've gotten older anyways. So you wonder like what if there's people who have arguments who it isn't tied to religion, what is it? Like I kind of wonder that sometimes. And do those people even exist? Like is it directly tied to religion? Would that be the only reason you would be against it? Like yeah.
Because there's a great book. One of my favorite authors is Yarny Naval, and he wrote a famous book called Sapiens: Why Homo Sapiens Rule the World. And he wrote multiple books, and he takes it from a very biological level, from an anthropological level, from a historical perspective, and it's a very simple, easy, quick read. And he's a gay man born in Jerusalem, and like there's no logic to most of it because his argument was, so if 2 men don't have anybody to love them, but they love each other, why would God punish them? There's no logic behind that, right? Because if 2 people love each other and they don't have anyone else to love, but they love each other, that should be accepted. And it's that, right? There's no reason why it shouldn't be. They're not hurting anybody, and they're enhancing each other's life.
Nobody learns from the Bible. They just read it and take it exactly for what it is. If they actually learned, from the teachings, then it would be thought of that way.
But what bothers me is like people can quote it up, down, and around, but they don't live it. And you said you shouldn't judge, and I don't like to judge people. But what bothers me is when I see people preaching life, but they don't live it. And you know what? We're all hypocrites within reason. I've said things that I didn't mean. I've lived outside of my.
And
it's just tough. But I'm also a very humble person. I'm the first person to say, you know what? I fucked up. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't understand. I apologize. Tell your side of the story, and it's not for me to judge. I mean, I we're all different.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and everybody has their own opinions and feelings, and we should just accept that and be okay with it.
I mean, I can't fathom, and since both of you are married and your mother's, like, it's crazy to me, thinking about people. of the older generation, and don't get me wrong, they still exist today because they're born, bred, and fed on homemade cornbread and breast milk. Essentially, is what it is. But it's
Yeah.
like, they go, if my son's gay, don't ever talk to me. Don't even come to my funeral. And I go, that's your son. That is
Yeah,
the
that's
boy
your
you
blood.
created with your wife, and you're going to act like that? I don't understand this concept of thought, and to have that kind of naive ignorance, I just can't relate to.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's crazy to know that, I mean, obviously on a mom's side, you see things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I feel no matter what, whether you're a stepmom or biologically a mom, like you just start seeing things differently. Like you want your child to be happy. You want them to enjoy life to the fullest. So why would you judge someone else's life if you're seeing that they're living their life to the fullest? Like I don't know what it's like to be a single man. But on your side, if you guys are saying like, oh, it's fine, like be happy, experience what you need to experience, and I'm not going to judge you, like why is that so hard to do for a majority of Americans at least? Why is it so happy to see, or why is it so hard to see somebody else be happy? Like, why is that such a big thing?
I think a part of it has to do with like just jealousy, like naturally, in part of like in a capitalistic society, we're taught that you need what your neighbor has and then some, and then you want your neighbor to want what you have, and like it's one of
We're
the
materialistic.
exactly that subconscious materialistic mentality that's fed within us, that it's a constant comparison. And the problem is then you go through your life and it's over, and what you missed out on was enjoying what you had. You didn't even get to enjoy it because you were so busy comparing yourself to the Joneses that you missed out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty intriguing topic and subject.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, I heard that we had some personal stories, so why don't we go ahead and go over to those? What do you guys got?
Yes. So I got a good one. This is my favorite story. So I was 20 and I was bartending.
Real quick,
And I used to
I've been meaning to ask this. How old are you ladies?
I'm 30.
I'm
Wow.
25.
Wow.
I'm 80.
I'm 29, and are you 29 too, or are you still 28?
28.
Okay, so I'll be 30. So we're all in the same age group.
Around the same. Yeah. Around the
Fantastic.
same age.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the baby.
I'm always the baby. Whatever.
But yeah, so I was like 20 and
10 years ago.
10 sad years ago. But so my bar we went to a strip club. We went to down here, it's called Rachel's. So
Go
you already
on.
know what Rachel's is.
Rachel.
But
Rachel's.
yeah, Rachel's. So we went there. It was like me, the owner, my brother who worked there at the time, and then a couple other bartenders. We went to Rachel's to have like a bartending competition with another bar. And I wasn't bartending. I was there trying to pump up sales, which meant sacrificing myself and making every man I could find buy me like a Patron shot or something. So I was underage. So at this time, and the bar knew I was underage.
Damn.
That's fucking hot, right?
You even named them there. Fucking Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel's.
He's all
restaurant.
business.
They're never gonna close. They're
Yeah.
never gonna close. No. There's like no.
Yeah.
Too
So
bad
and-
Epstein's not here to hear us.
too bad what?
I said too bad Epstein's not here to hear us.
Oh,
Because you said you were underage at the time.
Epstein didn't kill
I would have
himself.
loved it.
Okay.
Underage for alcohol. I think
For
underage
alcohol.
Yeah, I know.
He liked the 13-year-old.
You like 13-year-olds.
I don't. He did. I like the 30-year-olds.
I mean,
Ring on finger. No,
but so I got real drunk. It was real bad. And like I ended up like running to the bathroom, ripping the toilet seat off of the toilet, throwing up, and then getting kicked out and put in my brother's Jeep for the rest of the night.
Shit.
Okay, a lot of shit
Just like-
happened in those, like, in that little bit. Like, you said you ripped the toilet seat off?
Yeah, like,
I need the
I ran
details.
in there.
So you
I ran
underage.
in there
You
and I
got drunk.
instantly
You did all these
down.
shots. They brought all.
What?
She brought all the guys in, get all the shots. This girl should be at least getting 75% commission. So she goes
I
to
have
that
no idea.
bathroom. You get sick. So how did they? What made them kick you out?
Because of the fact that I was underage, and like to get into the strip club, you had to be 21. So they let me
Really?
in underage, and
So
then
I don't know how it is
underage.
at that place in Florida, but like where we're at in Missouri, the laws are weird. So like you can have full nudity, but you can't have any alcohol, or you can have alcohol, but you can only have like topless.
Topless, yeah. That's how
Really?
It's like that.
that's how it is here.
I think you should be able to have it all, and you just pay for it out of pocket.
Exactly.
I mean, might as
On
well.
credit,
You
too.
grew up in South America, yeah. You take Visa or MasterCard.
I don't know, swipe it through your butt crack. That's
Ew.
God. But no, like it was real rough. So I went to like kneel down to throw up and like violently rip the toilet seat off. I don't know how it happened, but it ended up on the ground.
You should have taken it with you.
Man.
I know, right?
As
This
a
is my pride.
souvenir, I earned this shit.
I earned this toilet seat. It's mine now.
What's funny is that you said your brother worked there at the time.
Yeah, my brother. No, he worked with me at my bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not at the strip club. He worked at my
I
bar.
was gonna say,
So
poor Nick.
no, my other brother,
Oh God.
Tommy. Yeah.
Even worse.
Tommy!
Yeah.
Did you say you slept in a Jeep?
Yeah, I got kicked out, and so they put me in my brother's Jeep, and I fell asleep in there until they took me home. They went back inside to the strip club for like another 2 hours.
I hope you peeked all over his dashboard in his leather hand-stitched seats from the Ottawa, Oklahoma Indian tribe.
I don't know.
But you can't hang. Get in the Jeep.
They just left me in there, and I fucking passed out. I was like, all right, cool.
Oh,
Open
man.
the door every couple minutes to throw up a little bit and then
Ew.
shut it, and then just like go back to sleep. It was
I
cool.
can't even say ew. I've done worse.
Yeah,
That's
that was
crazy.
fun.
That's a great story. Like, I feel like we've all been there, but I've never been a male stripper. Not saying I wouldn't try. I just don't know what it's like to be that, like,
It's a lot of money.
you
A
do.
lot.
Yeah. You girls should start your own OnlyFans. Have you heard about this?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
OnlyFans. Have you heard of OnlyFans?
I don't know what only.
Okay. So I'm like,
Oh,
okay, I follow a lot of people on YouTube and I follow a lot of people on TikTok that
And a
have
lot of people on
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
And I'm like, okay, I'm really tempted to like subscribe to your OnlyFans because I want to know. I want to know.
the details,
Hey,
the secrets.
It's the most brilliant business proposition I've ever seen. So we started following, when I say we, our podcast, and when I say our podcast, it was me one night. I was drunk.
Our Beezle Boys in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
So this girl liked our thing or whatever. It's like 2 a.m. I'm drunk, and she's very attractive. Her name was April May, April, and then her last name is like Meigh. She's from the
Wow,
East
that's
Coast,
very white.
really sexy. Like, I mean, I believe that she has the success that she has based upon her looks, and that's a lot of it. But you know, I didn't like the attitude I got from her and the vibe. It was kind of negative and very pessimistic, and that kind of comes with that territory. And I get it. When you have 2,500 people that follow you and message you every day and want custom videos and pictures and shit, like that comes with it. But I asked her, I'm like, hey, like, she told me that she made $500 to $1,000 a day. I did the math. If you make $500 a day, that is $3,500 a week. That's almost 15
You're in the
grand
wrong fucking business.
fucking month. Yeah. And here's the thing: if you pay to subscribe, you still have to pay for every video and picture that's behind a paywall. Like, there's girls out there that are teachers, third grade art teachers, that are doing this, and they have the control. They can shut it down. You can't. It's not like Pornhub where you can just view it and send the link to your friends. Like, it's
Right.
crazy.
You have to actually pay for it to send the
You
fucking
pay
links.
for the subscription.
And they
You
have to
for
pay for
every-
it.
Yeah. I just think, like, it's an intriguing way to make a living and have an exceptional lifestyle.
If you could find a niche thing like feet pics or something, that'd
Yeah.
be so easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got
Like-
You paint your toenails, you go
Okay,
to
I've
the
been so tempted to do the whole feet pics thing.
Nah, I got ugly feet. I'm screwed.
I have tiny baby feet, so
Hey, that's a fetish within itself. Uglyfeet.com.
Oh, yeah. I got like
And
Yeah,
I'm sure it's
oh,
true.
all you have to
Now,
do
we
is
know
take
who likes
take a
what.
bottle of Gold Bond and spray it on have your husband spray it on your feet so it looks like cum.
Perfect. That's what I need. Yeah. Perfect.
Thank you.
He'd be like, yes, I'm down.
Check out our OnlyFans coming up.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna make our OnlyFans page now.
Just about our feet. You got
Just
the
about
monkey
our feet.
toes and the baby feet.
No,
Ooh,
man, it's
so much-
crazy what exists out there nowadays. Everybody's on to something.
Yeah, I don't want to get too serious, but I do want to say on this, like OnlyFans, outside of kind of the wild stuff that's on there, sometimes like as the internet as a whole is like things are moving that way because like with social media, there's a lot of like YouTube, for example, like Beezle Boys content has not been accepted on YouTube. We're not able to be on YouTube. So it's like there's
What?
creators that make, content and stuff that like, people are wanting to find, but you kind of have to have it behind a paywall for like protection and stuff like that too.
And more and more
I mean, that's-
comedians are actually going to OnlyFans because of for one, they want to protect their content. So like they know that if you're paying for their content, you're probably not going to copyright it. And two, it's behind a paywall. So
Well,
you can shut it down at any time you want. And then three, you don't have to worry of it being taken down. Now the problem with it is, my brother works in law enforcement. The problem with it is like the government's trying to crack down on it because people aren't paying taxes on it. So if you have some, like I said, an attractive girl that's making 20 grand a month on OnlyFans, she's not paying taxes on that. So how do you regulate how much money she's making from a federal government standpoint? I'm not saying that's my specialty. I'm just saying that it's a big deal. And I think that in the next year or two, we're probably going to see laws and issues related to these private paywall sites like he's talking about.
yeah. Oh yeah. There's
Yeah.
already
I can
things.
definitely see that happening.
Yeah. Like I've already seen things happening like people uploading pirated movies and stuff like that behind this paywall. And so there's like copyright, infringements happening that on these sites. I think Patreon, if you guys are familiar, like they were like the first one to start doing the whole paywall thing, and they already came under legal suit with the tax thing you were saying, Billy, and had to change a lot of shit. It pissed some people off. But
even from a legal perspective, like beyond the taxes, you have a thing. So if somebody says, Joe Blow, here's my fishing channel, subscribe to my channel, and then you have to pay for every picture and video. What if they're a pedophile? What if what they're advertising is that they're the next Jimmy Houston, but what they're really selling is pedophilia? My point is, it's such a controversial topic. Once again, it just goes to show you that no matter what is legal or illegal, right, wrong, moral, immoral, that people will find a way to take advantage of every situation to make money off it.
well, this is the next big argument with the internet too. Like the last probably like 5 to 10 years, we've been asking social media to start policing things that are happening on there. So what now with this private internet stuff? Like, this stuff is not available to the public except for a paywall. So like, is that still okay to be there? Like, obviously not the extremes, like you said, but it's just an interesting
argument, like invasion of privacy. You're gonna have people going, "Hey, I paid for this. I'm not breaking the law."
Exactly. That's like,
yeah, but can you have
like a scary part of that, though?
If she wants to paint her toes every Tuesday, and I don't want to look at what she's painting, why is that your problem? That I mean, it's one of those situations where but it's a valid point from every and as a content creator, like if you found a way to succeed and make a lot of money and have success and followers, and you're not breaking the law, you're not doing anything wrong or immoral, but you have followers, why would you not do it? And if you're the follower, you're going, what? That's my money. I enjoy this in my personal life. Who are you to tell me that I can't do it?
Yeah.
Right.
But do we have privacy on the internet? I mean,
No, we don't have privacy ever.
do we deserve
don't have
privacy on the
anything.
internet? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we deserve it, but we definitely don't.
Yeah, we do not. I don't think some people deserve privacy on the internet. Cause
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Well, I mean, yeah. I think
Pedophiles,
we need
no.
the internet should be, it should be free and open. That's what it was created for. But it's a hard thing to think about.
It
Like,
is. For the
Yeah.
most part, it is free
Yep.
and open, and
But it's
public,
gotten
whoever wants to find what.
Yeah, and it's, I just feel like since I've been around anyways, it just feels like it's gotten increasingly less and less like that. Like, everybody's on Facebook or everybody's on Instagram. Like we're getting consolidated into these like uses of the internet. And then, they're held to a standard of what kind of content is or cannot be on there, what's truth, what's not, things like that. And it's like, we're just getting in an area where that's becoming, discussion. It's interesting stuff.
And then you cross that barrier, and then we'll move on to the next topic and keep moving forward. But like the whole free speech, and it living in a country that we have free speech, it's your right to be offended. What people don't understand is when you're given free speech, that means you have the ability to voice your opinion and make your own decisions on what you like and don't like, and then express how and why you feel that way. But what they don't tell you or teach you is that part of what comes with that is that you have to accept that other people have their own opinions and valid reasons behind it. And part of being a responsible adult means you listen to it, you hear it out, you hopefully have logic, common sense, rationality, and basic science, and then you make your own conclusions, and then you go vote or you don't vote or you do this or that. And that's what bothers me is that if we kill free speech, comedians can't tell jokes anymore. Songwriters can't write songs. Pornographers can't make porn. Fashion designers can't design fashion. Bakers can't bake cakes. Car designers can't design cars. Everything completely goes away just because one person chooses to get offensive because they don't like something that somebody did. Every day I wake up and I go to work and I live my life and I hear things that I know are bullshit or I don't agree with. But I have the ability to not let it fuck up my life, and I still go through it and make my decisions and live my life the way I am. And we live in a time where everybody wants to be politically correct. But the problem with that is your children will have to grow up in a time where they're going to be afraid to think on their own, make their own decisions, laugh because they're told to laugh, or they can't laugh because they might get sued. And I don't want to live in that world.
It's like we're living in the world that our parents and grandparents created. And they're like, what's wrong with that? It's like, okay, well, the world has changed. Like, we're living in a world where
everyone gets fucking offended.
Everyone and their mother gets offended. Okay? But we're allowed to joke. We're allowed to say whatever the hell we want. We're allowed to cuss. We're allowed to think how we want. We can have religion that we follow, and we don't have to have religion that we follow as well. Like
the Karens of the world.
It's the Karens.
Karens.
No, I'm kidding.
The
Karens and the Kevins. But yeah, so like this world that we create as we are now, that our kids are literally gonna have to deal with it later. Like, God forbid that it's a shitty fucking world that we have to live in, and they have to live in an even worse world.
Well, even like college are fucked up now because like the whole point of like college and like all these things we're talking about was supposed to challenge an individual to be who they are, to make their own decisions, to listen to others and come to their own conclusions. But now because everybody's so afraid of being offended or upsetting the average person, like they just jump on the bandwagon, and then you have this group of people that all claim that they're different or they're individual, but yet they're following the same standard instead of actually being what they want to be because they're afraid of offending the wrong people,
Right.
Whew.
That was an intense topic.
Yeah, I like how deep we got there.
No, but it's real. We're saying it how it is. What we're doing right now is the whole point of what keeps things moving forward in a positive direction.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's time for another personal story. I think this time it's Ilka.
It is Ilka's turn. Oh,
Yeah.
we're just making sure our computer time. Okay.
The computer was about to die. That would not
Plug her in.
I am not like technologically
Yeah, we're not
advanced.
technologically
I
sound.
don't
Hey, you
know
guys have a
how to
mic.
use
You're doing
shit.
something right.
Hey,
It's because we're like, okay, other podcasters have mics. Let's do that.
Amazon, fucking Amazon for everything. Figure this shit out before we start. Yeah, we're the basics. Okay, so oh god. So yeah, this is very embarrassing because this actually happened not too long ago. This was about 2 years ago. So I was already married, or about to get married. This was before. Oh, no, wait, that was longer. I wasn't even married yet. So I was with my husband as boyfriend and girlfriend, and we went to a company Christmas party. And his company likes to go a little bit all out when it comes to
Does that mean that it was a swingers party?
No. Unfortunately.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. You get wet and I get a hard cock. Da, da, da.
Try out some
No,
different things.
So their Christmas parties actually are in like January because they're so late on shit. But they go all out when it comes to it. So like bartenders, just drinks everywhere. We usually go out afterwards, like to downtown Orlando. If you're from this area, you know how sketchy that shit can be. Especially nowadays.
Are you girls from Florida originally? Born, bred, and fed?
No, I'm from Puerto Rico.
And I'm from Minnesota.
Wow, well, those are two complete opposite parts of
I
the
know,
world.
right?
Yes.
Minnesota gets cold as fuck, as I hear. I've never been. I have some family in Canada, and I've been on the East Coast. And in the Midwest, you get the best of both worlds. You'll have like the hottest, humid summers, and you get like negatives and cold winds and tornadoes. I mean, we get it all. But at the same time, Minnesota, I mean, you're talking horrible, cold, snow and weather 6 to 9 months out of the year, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Is that what it's like?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
pretty.
that
It's like that.
bad? Ooh.
It's like that. It's like cold nonstop. You get like 3 good months, and that's about it.
That's crazy. What about you? So from Puerto Rico, I mean, you have probably a beautiful tropical.
Oh my god. I am so used to the tropicalness, but I am not used. Okay, so I was born in Puerto Rico. My entire family is from Puerto Rico, born and raised. And
You're taking
I
your
moved
shirt
here
off.
when I was. Yes.
I'm just kidding.
We're sitting on the floor in front of my couch.
We're like
okay?
sitting at the coffee.
I'm like 6 foot something. I'm like 5 foot even. So
Fantastic.
we're trying to make this work. No, but I came here when I was 3. So my parents moved us here when I was 3 years old. So I pretty much knew how to understand Spanish and how to speak English. So my whole entire life, I've been in Florida. I've been in Central Florida my entire life. And I'm still not used to this freaking humidity.
Do you guys get tornadoes?
Florida?
Cyclones down there?
No, we get hurricanes.
We get hurricanes.
Yeah.
Our tornadoes are like sand tornadoes, like barely.
Yeah, tornadoes are like nothing.
Like maybe
The
a couple
hurricanes
trees
is what
come
we get.
down, but we get fucking hurricanes.
For the record, I'm from Joplin, Missouri. So if you guys Google Joplin, Missouri, a few years ago, we had an EF5 tornado that made like national news, actually made world news. It was pretty bad, but like you can Google the images and shit. But like we're from the Midwest, like the biggest issue is hurricanes because of the cold front. Like you said, you're from Minnesota, so you get this cold front from up north that comes down. And if you're from Texas or Florida, you get this warm front that moves up. And when those motherfuckers start to do what they do, it can be horrible. It's like horrible weather. I mean,
Yeah.
rain,
In Puerto Rico,
sand,
if you've never
snow,
been
ice,
there,
all that shit.
exactly. You don't get the cold in Puerto Rico. I mean, the cold comes from when it rains, and it's like that cool rain. But here, like the humidity is different when you're on an island. But for some reason, Florida doesn't know how to get its fucking shit together.
You're like wet 90%.
You're wet 90%. We went out to dinner and we were sweating.
You guys, girls aren't Trump supporters.
I'm a no one supporter.
We don't
right now.
yeah.
Hey, I get that.
I don't even like
I
myself.
like that.
I
Yeah.
fucking hate politics. So yeah, I'm with you on that one, Billy.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean it's completely different. And I mean I've been in snow before, but I feel like I've been in fake snow. Like I've been to South Carolina, I've been to North
Not real.
Carolina. I've been snowboarding and I fucking love it, but
That's fake snow.
That's not real snow. So I don't really know. I mean, I
I'll
love
take you to Minnesota.
Thanks. I appreciate it. That's never gonna happen. No.
Hey, you're from Minnesota, eh? Or
It's
Canada,
not-
eh?
Yeah, sure, you betcha.
Sure, you betcha.
Ooh.
Hot dish.
Listen, I still call it a hot dish because it is a hot dish.
It's not a
It is
casserole,
hot
it's a
bitch,
hot
and my
dish.
ex-wife is a fucking bitch. You nailed it.
I don't have any Spanish sayings because they're very different from English.
Como estás?
Hola.
So what about this Christmas party?
Oh, okay. I'm so
I
sorry.
heard-
We're like, so sorry. I took
Yeah.
it out.
No,
of
I need the
shot, and I was
details.
like, okay.
That's what I always say. Look at the
Okay, so-
details.
Give me the deets. Okay, so here are the details. So we went to this club that has 3 stories. So it's technically a downstairs, a second story, and then a rooftop.
I hope
So
they
it
have a
has the
safety net.
rooftop.
No, no one's jumped yet.
No
so
one.
we're good.
I mean, I don't think so. No,
don't think
I wouldn't.
so.
It's not our jurisdiction. We don't know. But so we were on the rooftop and we were having fun after the Christmas party. So I had already had about 2, 3, maybe 4 tequila and pineapples because that's my signature drink. When I go out and I had those, we went upstairs and I completely blacked out. And from what I was told, yeah, this
She's
is.
laughing.
So we were on the rooftop and I was sitting with the other girlfriends of the coworkers of my husband. And we were having drinks and then suddenly we had to go downstairs. So I did not remember this whatsoever. I blacked out at this point. Apparently, I took 1 step down the stairs and everybody and their mother had to catch me on the way down.
At least they caught you.
I don't know if they fully caught me because the next day I woke up and I thought my ankle was broken.
That's better than your head
My
being cracked.
ankle- yes.
They caught your head at least.
They caught my head for sure because I stepped and then I went like face down because they were really steep stairs.
Yeah,
for,
they're like
you know,
girls. I know where you're
they're
talking
really
about.
fucking steep stairs. So I went like face first, basically, and everybody who didn't know me just kind of caught me on the way down. But I swear to God, for the week after that, I thought I broke my ankle. It was swollen. It was black and blue. I had like cigarette smoke on my breath, and I was like, "What the fuck did I do?" And my husband's like, "You smoked a cigarette." I was like, "Ugh."
Was it a menthol?
I don't think so. I think it was just like a regular.
Oh,
fucking
damn. I hope it
cigarette.
wasn't menthol. I love menthol. I don't
Billy
smoke
and the
like
menthols.
the dentist. I like the menthol. It tastes
I don't
like a
even think it
piece
was
of
one
bubble
of the
gum.
good ones. I think it was one of the cheap ones. You know, like
One of the-
cheap ones because
The cheap ones.
Like Newport.
Newport.
Newport, yeah.
I
It looks
don't
like
know.
Nike, but flip the other way.
Yeah, it was.
You smoke it.
I woke up and I'm like, I have this weird taste in my mouth, and my husband's like, yeah, you smoked like a couple
You're
cigarettes, and I'm like,
disgusting.
what? I don't do that shit.
After like a late night of drinking, and I'll smoke cigarettes occasionally when I drink. Not recently, but I have. And I'll like go through so many cigarettes, and you wake up in the morning and your breath and your mouth just feels like shit. It's
Yeah.
like so dry in your throat.
You wish you
Fucked
could
up,
die
you're
in
like-
your sleep.
Yeah, you're like, why the fuck did I do this? Like,
And it's not like normal. It's very different from like smoking anything else, because
Just soaking anything else.
I
Like
don't
crack.
know. It's disgusting.
Fucking
Yeah,
crack.
you know.
crack
No, I've
cocaine
never done crack.
That's what we do here.
remain the same.
I got a quick question. Can we take one more bathroom break and then we'll come back and we'll finish this and then call it an episode? This has been fun. I think it's exciting. This could go on all night.
Yeah.
But I don't want to rush it. But I do need a piss because I feel like I got to piss like a rest.
You don't
Like a
gotta
Russian
explain
weirdo.
yourself.
Go. You
Really?
Alright.
All right, guys, let's take a break.
We got 2 moms that have children to tend to.
We'll see you guys soon. welcome back. Beezle Boys here again, and Billy has taken care of himself. I think we're ready to continue. So, Billy, you good?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I am ready to continue. We're having a heck of an episode. These girls are smart, sexy, funny. I don't want it to end, but I know it has to end because the only way it ends, it makes it practical so we can edit it and turn this into an actual episode. But, I could keep going. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I did want to ask, how did you girls meet? How did you become friends? What was it where you crossed paths in life that led you to becoming the friends that you are, and beyond that led you to creating the podcast that you have? And I'll be glad. Chase and I will be glad to share our 2 cents after you share yours with us.
Yes, we want to know your story
Yes,
too.
we want to hear yours.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, ours is kind of boring, I feel.
Ours is kind of
It
boring.
can never
So
be boring.
we work at the same place.
Yeah.
And you told me today how you thought of me right away.
Yeah, I remember the first time meeting her because I had worked there for, I think a couple months before you.
Yeah, not much longer.
Yeah, a couple months before she had been hired. So I saw her and I literally, our work had very strict tattoo policies. Yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
So I saw her, I only had a couple, but most of mine were hidden. So I saw her and I was like, damn, I see that leg tattoo. Like, you showing that shit. And I was like, ooh, I'm very much for first impressions kind of stuff. So I'm like, ooh, I like this bitch. Like, I didn't even fucking know her. I didn't know
You're
shit.
intrigued. Are you intrigued by tattoos and piercings? I'm always intrigued by them. Now, whether I like them or support them is a whole different thing. But
I'm a tattooer. I feel like that comes from someone's creativity, that someone's internal energy comes out in their tattoos or their piercings, because I have a lot of tattoos and piercings.
wow.
But for her, I seriously saw her leg tattoo and I was like, yes, bitch. Yes, you were going to be my fucking friend. Before she even came to my unit, I knew I was gonna like her.
And
I was
then we
I see
sat
your leg
right
tattoo.
across from each other, so we would just quietly talk to each other over our little wall.
And that's when we became best friends, because we realized we're both batshit fucking crazy.
And we realized we're both the same level of insane, and we like the same shit. And then we're like, we're gonna start a podcast.
And then how many years after too?
And then 2 years later, we actually started.
We're actually starting the fucking podcast. Yeah.
So how long? And we briefly talked about this before we kicked it back off. But so you've been friends. You met through work. Was it a couple years ago? Is that right? Or
3.5.
3.5
Cool.
years ago.
So at what point did you girls want to create a podcast, and who were your influences, and why did you say that we need to make this happen?
Okay. So honestly, we were listening to My Favorite Murder. Jackie, actually put me on to the podcast, and I was obsessed. We haven't even been working together, have we?
Yeah, we weren't even working.
We weren't even working together that long together, and
then we went to the My Favorite Murder show, and Ilka got drunk, and I had to drive her home.
yes, I get drunk. Fuck yeah, that's my
Icebreaker.
Yes.
Yeah, so we went to the live podcast, and I had to drive her home, and that was the beginning of our we want to do a podcast.
Yeah, I started listening. I've never listened to podcasts before that, and she was like, My Favorite Murder, and I was like, oh, okay. And then she moved to a different section because I had originally been training her when we were working together, and she moved to a different section, and we hadn't talked
Was
for
the conflict of interest?
Yeah, basically.
We weren't together anymore.
We weren't together anymore. She wasn't sitting in front of me, so it was hard to talk to her. But it was picking up from where we left off.
Then we got back together.
We got back together and started talking, and then we're like, oh my god, you like this podcast, Wine and Crimes from Minnesota?
Yeah.
And I was obsessed.
Yeah.
And then we started talking again, and that's where we were like, I think we want to make a fucking podcast.
And now she's in my wedding. And
I know.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
when are you scheduled to get married?
February 12th, 2022.
Well, you know what? Hey, I want to do a quick cheers and a shout out to our listeners. We have two awesome, kick-ass women that are smart and intelligent, and they're
Yeah.
funny. And this has been a great episode. So, cheers to both of you. You're already moms. You're wives. You're awesome people. So, salute and thanks for sharing your time.
Thank
with
you.
us.
Cheers.
Mask wedding 2022.
That's right.
Yes.
If he wasn't my brother, he'd be my good I tell myself.
So yeah,
That's cool.
we found each other through work, and it would have never, ever, ever have been possible if it wasn't through work.
Yeah. That's how it started, and now here we are.
And now we're like bitches that don't do shit.
It's kind of cool. Like the last episode, we talked about how Chase and I met, and we met when we were in middle school. Our middle school had this thing called AB Honor Roll, so ABC Honor Roll. So if you had A's, B's, and C's, you got to one semester. So the fall, it was 3 semesters. It wasn't 4. It was like 3 times a year.
Yeah.
You got to like take a half a day, go to the mall, eat whatever you wanted to eat, then go bowling or golf or roller skating, and it was a big deal.
Off.
Yeah. And I met him on the back of the bus, like one of my dear buddies at the time, which unfortunately I don't talk to anymore. Not because I don't care about him, but we just kind of lost touch. But I know he's local in the 4th state, and I wish him well. He's going to have a baby. But I met Chase, and I just instantly we clicked. Like he had my sense of humor. He had this porcupine haircut. He looks so different.
Oh my god!
Did he have frosted tips?
He's got
definitely not.
He's got kind of got this Adam Levine look, but maybe a little bit more masculine. He probably hates that in comparison.
Adam Levine's real hot, though.
Yeah, girls want to go down on you. They don't fucking know you.
Right now on live, but damn, okay.
I'll take that comparison. Whatever.
I'm the opposite. Like I'm not tattoos, no piercings. I don't discriminate, but like I like the ability to put on a suit and to comb my hair when I grow it the fuck out, and just like not care. Like to know that like the worst stereotype I will ever get is that I'm, a military or lawyer or doctor or boring and all. But like no one's ever going to tell me that they won't hire me because I have "fuck the world" tattooed on my forehead.
Wow.
I haven't taken it that far.
I hope you don't.
Oh no, I mean I try and think about like, I can't remember the exact time. Like, I mean, Billy was telling it when we met, but
you rock that look. I mean, I'm telling you, he rocks that look. There's people that rock it, and I feel like we live in a day and time where a lot of people try to rock something or be something that they're not, and then it like comes back to bite them in the ass,
Yeah. I was trying to think about. I don't remember the exact time, but I know like obviously middle school, like. We used to skate back in the day, and we were like skater kids, and shit. And like Billy was fucking wild. He had like the wildest, like just character like I've ever seen before, and would just make me laugh so much. And that's how it all started, And like we've been friends forever. We've done music together, and like things like that. It was just like about a year ago, we're like, let's you've got good shit to say. Like, I've got good shit to say. Let's do it, and that's why we're here.
Really, he's a tech guy. Like, I respect him the most because, like, I feel like one of the things I've always been inspired to be is like a comedian or something, having like that artistic creativity. But that my hesitancy has been like being kind of in the Midwest, and there's a lot of big places in the Midwest that you can get a good start. But it's not like I live in New York or LA where like you really kind of need to be in certain areas to do certain things to have the best odds of success. But he's always driven me and said, "Hey man, let's just try it, and I got your back. I'll do the IT. I'll make sure that whatever you do, whatever we do, we'll make it happen." So without him, we wouldn't be where we're at. Like you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have people backing you that support what you're doing and trying to make it possible, it's not possible. So
we're just trying to make the world a better place.
I know, right? Every serial killer on the way, right?
Yeah.
One by one, we'll make this shit work.
So let's throw it back to you ladies and see what's on your mind. What do you want to talk about here on Beezle Boys?
I kind of want to hear about these hybrid topics.
I know. I want to.
Ooh.
I was
Like,
be
it might be
thinking about.
disappointing.
Tell me.
But- No, I've got a lot of friends that are married and have children, and have traveled or haven't traveled, and the hybrid topic is dating and sex. But like, I feel like it's so relevant because the people I've, talked to that are married, or divorced, there's a lot of importance between these subtopics. Because a lot of people say that the problem is when you get married and you have children, everything changes, and it should change. But I think if you research it, like finances, dating, and sex are like 3 top reasons marriages and relationships don't work out long term. There's always
Yep,
financial problems. And that's important because you have to live together and have the same goal, or at least be able to relate to each other. And then you have to date. You have to spend time with the person that you want to be with. And then you have to have sex. You have to be intimate with these people. And when I say intimate, it's not one or the other. It's a combination of the 3. You have to respect each other enough and trust each other with finances. You have to want to try to make time to spend time with each other, and then hope that you can do the hibbity-dibbity.
No, it's all important. It is so important. Like, I tell couples
I
when
guess
I see them, you have to
to sum that
consistently
up,
date.
it's like, especially when you're married, when you're together and you have children, it's even more complicated because not only do you have those 3 issues, you have your kids, which are the first obligation.
You have to consistently date your significant other.
Consistently date your significant other.
It doesn't matter if you're married or if you're dating. Like, you have to consistently date. And I know it sounds weird because I can't even remember the last time I dated somebody.
Yeah, you have to
I was in
consistently
high school.
impress the other one. You have to do
Exactly.
things
You have to do
impress the other
things
one.
to make them feel sexy.
Otherwise, it gets boring.
Yeah, it always gets boring. I mean, it does not always get boring.
It gets
but
boring
I mean,
once you start.
The truth is unveiled.
Shut up.
Boring.
Don't tell my husband. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm saying, like, if you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, it gets boring. You have to always change things up. You have to always be, like, kind of
Spontaneous.
sneaky and mysterious.
How do you do it? Do you think it goes both ways? And like, as a male, like, I think it should go both ways. But also as a male, like, I feel that society has a stereotype that it's a man's job to pay every time for dinner or to have everything planned and set up. And you know what? I have no problem with that. But I like when it's the opposite. I like when a girl says, "Hey, we're gonna meet here," and I go, "Okay." And then I want to pay, and she goes, "No, I'm gonna pay." I don't know. I like the mysterious, and I don't think anybody should feel that burden. It should be mutual, especially if you're trying to do things together.
Exactly. I feel like we're the same way.
Yeah.
We don't feel like a guy we don't have to be taken care of. I know some females are just used to it. I guess their daddies or.
But I feel it's also like a
But
societal.
we're not. I'm
Like
okay with my own shit.
women have been taught, and like men have been taught. Like, for example, I have never gone out on a date, on the first date, not paid for it. Like, I have been taught as a man, and I kind of feel it could go both ways. If I ask you out and you say yes, you are kind enough to share your time with me. So I asked you out, you said yes, I should pay for that. I can accept that. But it can kind of
that
go
makes
the
sense.
other way too, right? If you ask a guy out, and a lot of times nowadays women are asking men out too.
That's what I say. That's what I think. If
And I encourage
you are
it.
the one that's asking that person out, you should be the one that's paying.
Right.
Because you are telling them to spend your time,
Your time
their
with you.
time with you. So you should be paying for that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very much against
Right. And like my fiance and I go back and forth. Like he'll pay and then I'll pay, he'll pay,
Yeah.
I'll pay. Like it doesn't really matter. And like I'll plan out shit. Like I can't pick a restaurant to save my life because that's my typical girl trait. I can't pick a restaurant
Girl
to save my
traits.
life. But like I can't. Like I'm super indecisive. I can't do it. But like when it comes to like planning shit, like I've planned surprise birthdays for him. I've planned surprise things for him like multiple times. Like I'll go out,
Can I ask
I'll
real
go
quick?
pay for everything and Yeah,
Real
Like he
quick,
just has to show up.
how long have each of you been with your other?
Mine's only been 2 years. So it
Okay,
hasn't-
2 years. What about you?
So, yeah, I've been with him for 5.5 years.
Okay.
Married 1.5 years.
Yeah, about
Almost
it was
2
a little
years.
before, yeah.
May
Yeah.
I ask how you both met your boyfriends and husband?
Mine was at
Yeah,
work.
okay.
He creeped on me. He creeped on me.
Ooh.
Sexual
Hardcore, like,
harassment.
it was-
Training
yeah,
course.
No,
like,
Somebody didn't learn something.
No, I was with my supervisor, talking to my supervisor, and he came in and started
It
talking.
turned into a three-way. You got promoted $37 an hour. I love it. That's why I live in America.
37 bucks.
no, he knew
No.
exactly what he was doing,
Yeah, he knew what he was doing
He
because then he
creeped on
went
her?
and, like, found out information about me and
which is
like,
very
Oh my
sketchy.
God.
knew that I had other
Just
family
saying.
members that worked where we work and stuff like
Oh
that.
my
Found
God.
out everything about me. Yeah.
I'm glad I sell spam for a living.
We're talking about we were talking about sociopaths and psychopaths. I mean, damn. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
He at least has the empathy, so we're good. He has the
Okay. She's analyzed it. We're good.
Oh, trust me. Like, I told him he didn't have any disorders because, like, I analyzed him a long time ago. I was
Yeah.
like, no, you don't have any disorders. You're good.
She had to before
I
going into
analyzed
this
him.
shit. But
I feel like we
mine
all have disorders, honestly.
honestly,
At some spectrum.
every single human being has to be on some kind of spectrum of disorder. There's no possible way that someone can be considered normal. There is no
What is normal? You know, that's the real question.
No,
What is
exactly.
normal?
That's not a
So
thing.
Yeah,
my
I have
client
that.
asked me that once. My client asked me, he's like, what's normal? And I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know. I can't tell you what normal is because I'm not normal. You're not normal. Like, what is normal? And like, we had a full conversation about what is normal.
So,
I was like,
so
I can't-
next time you get a client that goes, I'm fucked up, you go, normal, checkbox.
Fuck that shit. No.
I think everybody has their own normal, you know. Just
Yeah.
have to find it.
Like,
It's-
I met my significant other at a phone store. I
He
randomly
used to work at a phone store. Did he sell you a Sony Ericsson flip phone?
He didn't actually. This was way past that shit. This was when LG was like the shit with their touchscreen.
LG was the shit. I don't know about that.
Was the shit. This was 5 years ago. Okay.
5 years ago, LG was a shit.
I was broke. I was just starting out at the place that I work with. So, yeah, I needed some help, but I was actually going in to find my mom a phone, and I was like, oh, I like this place. Let's just see if we can find you a phone. And it ended up being his turn because, you know, there's multiple people that work within a phone distribution
Distribution centers?
I'm very drunk. Distribution place. So it was his turn. It was actually his first month being on his own. And I was like, oh, damn, he's cute. So I was with my mother, and I was like, I wonder if he has that big red truck that I saw in the parking lot. And he
The
did.
Red Rocket is what was hashtag on the back of the
Did it
tailgate.
have chrome?
Red Chevy, yes. Florida girl, love the Florida boy. Yeah. So he bought me a phone. Well, I bought a phone from him, technically.
Wait. I heard
Wait,
he
wait, wait,
bought
you
me.
were
He bought
planned
me a
to work
phone.
with this,
Did
right?
not buy
He
her
did
What?
buy me a phone. I'm sorry, he did that after. That was a year after.
Okay.
But I
The
bought a phone
facts.
from him as the sales rep, and as, you know, a new customer, I was like, oh, I don't know what this is, pretending that I didn't know what an SD card was, like a
Oh, yeah.
mini SD card was. And the next day was actually Christmas Eve. So I texted him, I was like, oh, by the way, I know what card it was. And I sent him a picture, and he's like, yeah, I'm sure you knew what that was. I was like, no, I honestly didn't, playing stupid. And we started talking since then. And technically, he sold me a phone, and he still
And a
works at
$3,700 a year plan too.
right? He's like, here. I
What
actually
commission
charged
did he get off that shit?
too much.
Hey,
I'm-
the guy, he used to work, was it Verizon?
AT&T.
So he used to
Sell
be
for
a phone
AT&T.
salesman. He talked about the commission and all the sales that goes into that.
They fucked your ass. That's what they did.
All because my husband works for Verizon. And yes,
Yeah.
I've understood for a very long time that he's made a lot of money off of me and my family, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It took me a while, but I'm okay with it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I met my husband. Is he sold me an overpriced phone. Yeah, very unnecessarily because I already had a phone.
I feel like there's probably more to it than that, but you know, it all starts with the phone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry.
I'm just
was a
kidding.
So I was like pretending. No, I'm being honest. I was pretending like I didn't know what something was, but I definitely wanted like the D. So yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
And here
So
I am.
like
Bring
when I
me to my next hybrid topic.
when
the
I
last
listen
topic,
before you
know,
go, Billy, before you go, like when I worked at AT&T, they gave us a phone that had its own number that was like you can give this to customers and like they can
Yeah.
text you. Was that the line that you hit them up on, that business line?
No, actually, I had the personal phone.
Oh, so the personal.
1-800-XXX.
I was with my mom at
he
that
got-
time.
Oh shit!
She was in on it.
My mom was with me. So she met him the first time that I was like,
Perfect.
damn, he was really cute.
I think I watched this on Pornhub. Mom and daughter go into cell phone store and start salesman.
The sales rep
I
walks
came
up,
across the
fucking
video.
ripped.
I could never find it. I tried to Google search it.
Okay, no, that's definitely not
No
a
Pornhub
Pornhub shit.
Listen.
Hey, don't be talking shit on Pornhub. We out here.
I love
We
it.
lo-
I
I
love
mean,
her
I
mom.
love
Her mom is
Pornhub.
not Pornhub.
I mean, I love my mom, but I also
No.
love Pornhub, and that's not her. But still, it was really funny because she remembers that day.
Good.
But that's her son-in-law now, so everything's okay, right? It all worked out for the best.
Now it's all
Exactly.
good.
She fucking loves him.
Exactly.
No way, but she fucking loves him.
I love your mom.
Is that Fenty?
I
Yeah.
thought we were about to go into Billy. Didn't you have a topic you were going to slide us to?
Yeah,
I thought
had
you were, but
I had two more hybrids, and this is it. Like this is it. This is the end. Like I want to keep going, and I can, but we can't for the episode's sake. And before we dive into, but we have two awesome, funny, intelligent, attractive girls, and we have to get their input because, like, if we don't get their input, then what the fuck are we doing here?
yeah,
You're both married women or soon to be married women. Your mothers, your daughters, you work, you do it all. There's nothing you don't do. But kind of like going back to like relationships, and like this is one of kind of those taboo topics. Like I've talked to enough of my friends that have gone through divorces, and it saddens me because I like both the guy and the girl, or you know, if they were gay or lesbian, and I don't have a large variety group. I got a good variety group, but like things don't work out, and there's so many reasons why. Like I said, finances. It can be anything under the sun, but like one of my dearest friends got divorced, and it always bothered me because I never quite understood it why. So he told me that him and his wife quit being intimate, and he got into porn and had sex toys, and she caught him, and that was like a big no-no. But what bothers me is like if they quit being intimate, that's better than cheating. So like you both are married or about to be married. Like, so if you had to walk in on your significant other, would you rather watch them watching porn and have a toy, or having an affair with someone else in your bed? Like, I mean, I think it's pretty
Literally just
self-explanatory.
talked about this.
But-
Oh my god, that's awkward.
Yeah,
You
that's why I wrote it
literally
down.
just
Talked about this.
You know, I let it LUDID.
Read my mind. No, I would rather be okay with somebody, or I'm sorry, my significant other be with like
Yeah, a sex toy. Like
a sex toy. I don't care. I'd rather them be happy. I use them. So
Mhm. Me too.
I
Okay,
We
would
all
want
do.
them to be okay with it. So
that wouldn't not end my relationship because
No.
listen, like my
Hopefully, it
fiance and I work on
enhances it,
opposite
makes
shifts,
it better.
right?
Exactly.
We work on opposite shifts, so 5 days a week we don't see each other out. Like we
Wow.
see each other at work, but we don't see each other at home. Like I work from like 8 to
Five.
times 11 o'clock, but he doesn't. He works 4 until 2 or 4 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're only really sleeping in the bed together for like 3 or 4
Couple
hours.
hours.
And if he tries to wake me up to have sex, like I'm not okay with that. Like
Yep.
I gotta
She's
work
like,
in the
"Fuck
morning.
that."
So, like
Hey,
you
her
touch me,
friend-
I'm sleeping. Don't touch
to
me.
be honest,
So like if he wants to go do what he wants to do with the toy, like I'm fucking fine with that. That doesn't bother me. Like do what you gotta do.
So if you find like a fleshlight or a male masturbator or like a prostate
Right.
massage or anything like that, you're not going to be freaked out or go, "Who you?"
No,
what's going
I
on?"
honestly,
I'd
I-
probably be confused as to what it is at first.
yeah. At first, I'd be like, "What?" But I'm the kind of person. I honestly bought him for Christmas.
Oh,
Oh,
Bought him his own
Santa
flashlight
Claus.
because I figured
she's cutting out. What'd she say?
as long as he's like,
Loyal to
He's
you.
a fleshlight.
I bought him his own flashlight.
Was it the
figured
original
something
Pink Lady? What
satisfying.
version was it? Can I ask?
The version.
was it?
It was just like a regular $40 flashlight. Like it was a really shitty. Like it's not
You didn't even
cloned
get
after
the high
anybody.
class one?
No,
Mm.
I did not.
You blow up in the camera.
It wasn't the original Pink Lady. It was a knockoff like Reebok.
It was.
Like
It
Reebok.
was from Spencer's. Okay.
Okay, but hey, we're on to something. I'll give it. She
Yeah.
wasn't. You know what's crazy? Yeah, I'll go with this. Go on.
But it wasn't a replica of like anybody. I knew.
It was just a generic.
I just want
I
to
mean,
add.
I'd buy a replica. I wouldn't really care that much. I'd be like, okay, cool.
Hey, you can clone a Willy, and he can clone your.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah, but I
recently.
don't know how much, how okay I'd
I
be
don't know
with
what-
someone plastering my vagina. Like,
If it was him and like his best friend and his best friend's friend,
oh no.
That'd be
like
weird.
you knew. But if you knew it was never gonna get out, and he would never cheat on you and always be loyal to you, and that was it, would you do it?
I mean, I guess, but like, I feel really, like, I don't know. Like, I feel weird getting my vagina plastered, but like,
No, we all
guess,
do. I've been there too.
You
I did a gay magazine for Hustler, and I had my. You know what's crazy? So like
You could
2 years ago, I ended up having hemorrhoids, and I didn't know I had hemorrhoids. But like at one point, I said, I need to see what's going on down there. I need to see it. So I pulled the mirror off my wall. And I sat down, like a woman giving birth, like this. I got my phone out. I said, I have to take a video, a picture. I have to know what the fuck I'm getting myself into.
Oh my
You
god!
know?
I'm sorry.
I had hemorrhoids. I didn't know I had hemorrhoids. I figured I had it because I was working overnights. I was working 12, 15-hour shifts and shipping and receiving. I figured that's probably what you have. You're walking on concrete floors. My asshole's pink naturally, so I started waxing it. Yeah, because I didn't know that women actually pay a lot of money to have it waxed and have it bleached. Is that true?
yeah,
Yeah.
they
That's why I
want
had the same thing
this
done.
is beautiful. I
First
used
of all,
to get Brazilians, but then I
There's
got
Brazilians,
lazy or cheap.
and then there's asshole bleaching.
What about the bleach? Yeah, is that like a common
never-
thing, or what?
Well,
What goes
actually-
on with that?
Never
Mr.
gotten my
Clean?
asshole bleached. I've never seen
I
anyone
wouldn't
get their
say
asshole
it's like a
bleached.
common thing because it's not really comfortable, but getting like a Brazilian, I would say get your asshole bleached at the same time.
Might as well.
Why not?
Might as well. I don't know.
So
You're
Billy,
up
you
to
said
there.
you said you had your asshole bleached, Billy.
No, mine's naturally light pink.
It's
It looks like a limited edition candy cane.
What?
Perfect. Way to ruin
No.
Christmas for me.
damn.
So we hit the toy topic. the next hybrid topic, and that is it. We have to
No,
call it.
I think I need to butt in right here, Billy,
Are we
because
going to go on? We're going to keep going. I'm okay.
I got a follow-up question.
And I watch my
I got-
coffee hour. I don't care.
I got a follow-up question. Then we'll get to your hybrid.
You got to
Go
follow
to
up.
that.
We were talking about toys, and you said you got your.
Are you gonna, are you girls into pegging? Like, could you do it if your boyfriend, if your
That's
husband?
kind of where I was going. I was asking
That's why
about
I
what
said
if you found out, that they're into that. Yeah.
If they came to you and said, "Hey, like once a month, I need you to be," if they said, "Hey, once a month, I need you to be dominant. Like, I'll do whatever you want year round, but like once a month, I need you to take control."
I will answer your question after I go pee.
All right. We will definitely wait for a pee to get that
We're
answer.
gonna take one more pee break,
Okay,
and
to
then
be
we
really
have
bad.
to end this
Okay.
episode.
Yeah.
You guys are not going to want to miss the answer to this question. We'll see you soon. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, guys. Beezle Boys still here, obviously. We left off on a rather interesting subject, and Billy, I'm going to let you bring us back to that.
These ladies have been kind and honest enough to share their input and experience or future desires about toys and porn. So, Ilka, would you please explain to the listeners what pegging is and what relationship that has in your life?
Pegging is when your significant other, most likely male, likes when you have a strap on or when you use.
She's getting real quiet. I'm very quiet because I'm scared.
She's scared of the strap-on.
I'm scared of the strap on.
I was scared of the tooth fairy. Listen to my fucking story.
No, it's a difference. Okay, so like pegging is when your significant other is okay with you using a strap on with them, like most likely a male, using a
Either
dildo.
fingers or toys, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not, there's nothing wrong with it. With having a male having their prostate.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, hold on. Jackie has something to say about this.
So I try to stick my fingers up my fiance's ass all the time.
All the time,
not
not some of the
all the
time, not
time.
once a
It's
month
not
or
allowed.
half the time, but all the time.
All the
And
time.
she's sponsored by Nike for those of you curious out there.
Yeah, all the
Just
time.
peg it.
No, all the time. And even in public, like I shove my hand up his ass, like, but he
Yeah,
does
that's
not
fucking
like
hot.
it. He won't
I
let
like
it
it.
happen. So I know if I tried to introduce that into our sex life, he would not be
Mhm.
okay with that. I've already tried, so it doesn't work that well.
Now,
So
when you
that's
say you've already tried, what made you try that? Is that something that you're intrigued to, or you thought that he might be intrigued to, or what?
First, it's like a tempting thing because you're like, do it on yourself, and then you try to do it on the.
Because he's like, oh,
Person
do
that
you
you're
want it up the ass? I'm like, well, can I do it up your ass first?
Oh, let me have
Okay.
you try it first before I say yes. You gotta feel that shit first.
I respect that, but like the one thing I've learned through personal experience is like when it comes to anal play, like there comes a point where you have to have an enema. Like there are certain precautions that have to be taken and measured because that's just how it is. It's like unlike the vagina where it lubricates itself, that they're
Exactly.
it's just how it is. And if you like read articles about porn stars, there's girls that will say, "Hey, I only eat salad on Friday night because Saturday night I'm getting fucked in the ass."
I didn't know it was
Emerald.
that specific, but yeah, you
Ah.
have to be aware. I mean, it sounds so fucking gross. You have to be aware of your bowel movements because you have to know when
What
you're
if you shit on
okay.
them?
Ew, you have to be okay with them doing like either finger play or dick play,
Well-
whatever you do. But enemas are a thing.
True.
You can do it prior, but
Coffee
I mean,
enemas. No, I think
No.
like
Oh, wine enemas are like a thing.
no, don't do either.
No,
just
wine
regular
enemas are a thing.
saline.
I like
Just
Wine
warm
enemas
water,
are a
warm
thing.
water over a toilet, and then I'll take a lube injector and inject the lube, and toy up the lube with your fingers or whatever you have to do, and you just go to town.
I learned about this in class. This guy did a wine enema and died like in the
oh
bathtub.
god.
Oh, because he was an alcoholic. I watched it on
Yeah,
that
it
old show,
goes-
1,000 Ways to Die. So
Yes!
it goes through problems. It
to
goes
your
right. It
brain.
goes
Let's
goes
just
right to your bloodstream, and it instantly. It's not like toxicated. It's always toxicated and stuff. Like versus if you drink it, it has time to dilute and everything, and then by the time it hits your liver, it's not nearly as potent.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Like, I think, like with the availability of porn and everything, like I think some of us forget like sex is gross. And like somebody told me that one time, and it like really like just opened my mind to being like, okay, like if you just accept that, like it is, you know, and it's like it's not gonna be some like on set clean fucking like brand new like couch or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know, like it's a nasty thing, and like you just accept it and you're like, okay. And
Yeah, you
yep.
watch like like a 5, 10, 15, 20-minute scene, and you don't realize that took 5 or 10 hours to film. But like that's the whole thing. Like one of my favorite quotes is from her name is Valentina Neppe. She's an Italian actress, and she says that porn is adult entertainment, not sex education. And that's the biggest misconception, that people see this and they realize they don't realize that this has all been prepped, and what you're seeing is hours of work, not reality.
be planning.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. People get off on porn, and it's just like a situational type of thing. Like, oh, like this is a postman that's bringing mail to the place, and this girl's
Yeah,
like,
but you know what's crazy? You say that-
whatever, pizza delivery man, whatever.
Yeah, but she says it. You know, I'm the perfect example. I'm the perfect example. So, girl I liked, I sent her she got real sick, had a bad sinus infection. I sent her a get well card with some Allegra D. And, no, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen, are you listening to me right now? Are you listening? I'm listening to you. Are you listening to me?
Allegra D, dude. You said that. Sinus allergy medication.
But you know what's crazy? I should have sent it to her with a nice. I had the nice card. I said, "Get well with the Allegra Tea." I deliver it dressed as a UPS man, hoping to get laid, and I didn't realize that she's probably already gonna fuck you because she likes you, and you were kind and compassionate, and you sent her a get well card with medication. You didn't have to deliver. I didn't have to dress like a UPS man to get laid, but I didn't anyways because I've been watching too much porn. What can Brown do for you?
Oh my god. What do you got, Billy?
I just want to do one more quick full circle, and we got to sum it up and call it a day. So we talked about toys and everything else. So is porn the same thing for you girls? Like if you caught your husband or your boyfriend, or your not boyfriend but your husband or your fiance watching something, or you check the browser history, like would you feel like ashamed or abandoned or disappointed, or would you just say, you know what, they have their own urges and needs, and you know what, like it's just a fantasy. A lot of times what people fantasize about, just sometimes getting off, is just to get you through the day because it's a stress reliever. That doesn't mean you're actually going to do it or you have the ambition to cheat. It's just one of those things that everybody has in their own way.
Yeah, I don't really care. Honestly, it's just something to get you started and get to the end point. It's not a big deal. It's not like they're concentrating on it and this is the love of their life or anything like that. Like, it's just, it is what it is. And, every time they look at different videos. So they're not focusing on one girl that they like, It's like
And if
different
you
Really
are,
videos.
might be.
that's when you should be suspicious.
And it should go both ways. The same for you. And like my argument is like this. It should be like two people doing their thing, what they like, coming together, accepting each other, and trying to share that together. And that's it. And if you can't accept each other for who they are and want to try to do the things the other person likes, you have no right to get upset about it. That's my personal opinion.
If you're not okay with it, then you should definitely make it known that you're not okay with it. Most likely, if you're married to somebody, you kind of already know what they like and what they're expecting from you and what they're into. Yeah, definitely.
That's one of my biggest.
It might not be what you
want. Honest about stuff. Because I've dated girls and I've slept with them and I've dated and vice versa, like I'm saying. But I'll just come out and be honest. I'm like, hey, what are you into? Because I want to know what you're into. And some chicks are very blunt and honest, and some girls are they'll give me the silent treatment, and it kind of bothers me because I'm like, if I'm good enough for you to date and to sleep with, why can't you be honest with me? But at the same time, I understand the stigma that nobody wants to be slut shamed. So it's a tough topic, but that's that's the last thing I have to say because we're running on time. what are your final words, and then we have to wrap it up.
Yeah, we could go forever, but let's get some final words from you ladies before we wrap it up.
Shit, I don't know.
I doubt that.
Have a good night. Okay, bye.
No, it's been a good podcast. We're excited to have you guys on here. Drunk Discussions podcast.
Very
drunk
discussion.
It's fitting of the title.
This title can be called Shit-Faced Discussions.
Shit-Faced Discussions.
That's perfect.
Well, yeah, it's been a great episode. I think we're long-winded at this point, and we appreciate everybody, joining us here. Billy, you got any last couple words for us as we close out?
So I think these girls are fun. They're smart. They're intelligent, attractive. They have a lot to bring to the table. And I'm so thankful that they wanted to share this episode with us. And I think if I remember correctly, they said this was their first special guest crossover. Are we right?
Yep.
Yeah, but you shared it with us. And like I said, from day one, I thought that they brought a lot to the table and it intrigued me. And I look forward to seeing what they have to bring to the table, as well do we, and it's been fun. So I wish you girls nothing but the best from the bottom of my heart. You're awesome people, great mothers, women, spouses, soon to be spouse. So nothing but the best from Beezle Boys. So thank you so much, ladies. Have a wonderful evening.
And
this has been a kick-ass episode.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
This has been really fun. We appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Cheers.
Hell yeah. Cheers. Cheers. Another episode done of Beezle Boys. We'll see you guys on the next one.
The good news is my lawyer saved 15% on car insurance, and my lawyer dropped the restraining order. Ciao.
Hell yeah. Thank you for listening, everybody. This has been another episode of Beezle Boys podcast. Find our friends at Drunk Discussion Podcast by visiting them on Instagram. That's at drunk_discussions_podcast. Go check them out. Episode 12 will be dropping in 2 weeks, so get prepared. We've got another interesting guest lined up. Beezle Boys logo shirts are still available, by the way. Get a hold of us on Instagram at Beezle Boys, and we'll hook you up, even ship your order. Till the next one. Later.